around the corner and keep thinking I'm going to stay behind her drive line, like you see behind the birth area, right? There you go. Fine if she trots. Keep her in that direction. There, good job. Now we just kind of let her move around and keep this direction. That's the first thing we do. She'll stretch out. Get any bugaboos out, hopefully. Okay, we're going to try to do a turn where she turns her head toward the fence and her body follows. Okay. So it's going to require you changing your whip to the other hand and putting it towards her head while you step in front of driveline and turn her away. Good. That's normal. Don't worry. Step in front of her again. Over here, sorry. Okay, she decided to turn inside. Good. There you go. Just right. Good. Let her move for a second, and then you'll try that other direction one more time. Okay, so you're going to try switching your whip. Step into her head. Cut her off over here somewhere. Give her a kick. Again, we got it inside turn. There, she gave you an outside. Try an outside turn this direction again. It's kind of funny because she's got her head to the outside, but she's not wanting to give that to you.
She just got us a clinic too.
Okay. So, step toward, yeah, there you go. Good girl. Stay behind your drive line and keep your whip in that other hand. Keep your whip in the other hand. Yep, there you go. Stay behind your drive line. You're cutting her off. Be careful. There you go. Nice. Good. Good. Think about your whip pointing more towards your head. Yes. Trying to help, like your hand is pushing her head away. Okay. Yeah, you got her. Yeah. Good girl. Okay, she walks. Don't worry about it. If she drops, that's fine too. We have little control over speed other than to turn her back. So if you think about it, every time she turns back, that's a stop of her forward. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so we've had her go both directions. Now we're going to see if we can get an inside turn on purpose.
Okay.
So the way that you do that is you back away from her, open the door towards you, and try to keep her forward. So keep her forward. There you go. You could ask her to jog. I'll help her stay forward. Okay. Now you're going to switch your whip and step back toward the fence, not in a circle. Good. Yes. Now step around to the fence. You're right. And push your head. Good girl. Girl. Tell her. Girl. Stay behind her drive line. Look at her hip. Yeah. Good. And let's ask her to trot. Good girl. Girl. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to switch your whip and step back towards the fence. Step back more. Yep, and then around. You're right. Step back, but then step to the fence and around. You want to try to get on her other eye. Yep. Keep stepping to the fence. Good. Keep it up. Get your whip on that other eye. Step to the fence. You're doing great. Doesn't matter if she makes a mistake. She thinks she can't move and poop at the same time. Go ahead and put your whip on that eye and see if you can get her to turn away from the whip to the inside. Keep going on toward the fence. Toward the fence. Good. Toward the fence. Good. There you go. There's an inside turn. Okay, stay behind her. Good. Good. Very nice. Okay, we're gonna try another inside turn this way. I want you to switch your whip and step back when you're ready. Back and not sideways. Good. Step around to the fence if she doesn't hear you. Step around to the fence. You gotta get on the other eye, not this eye, but the other eye. The eye next to the fence.
Okay.
So you can turn her into the inside. Yes, good. Keep going. Right. Yes. Keep going. Right. Good. Good. All right, let's drive her on a little bit. And forward. Don't get in front of her. Stay behind her. There you go. Good. Okay, again, we're going to ask for an inside turn. Back off. Back up. Switch your whip. There she goes. Good girl. Good girl. Very nice. Okay. Now we're good to go. And then we're just going to quit. So you're going to just stop, breathe, put your shoulders down. So just think about that. Now you're going to step towards her hip. And what you're thinking about is push her hip away and draw her head. Oh, here she comes.
Oh,
Good.
what a good girl.
Okay.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay, so when they quit, they need to turn face and then come. Okay. So that's what your shutdown cue is. They quit,
Okay.
they look at you, and then they come.
Okay.
Okay, so that's your shutdown cue. Okay, so that is inside and outside turns, right?
That
And then a
helps.
shutdown and come.
Yeah, I think the big round pen helps.
Okay.
It like helps me mentally just a little bit more time
Uh-huh. Yeah.
through it.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that whole inside turn and shut down and come, that's draw. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
She's coming toward you.
Yeah.
Toward you. The outside turns, that's drive.
Okay.
Outside turns are to establish respect. That's what a lead mare does in a herd. They
Okay.
say, hey, you go. Right?
Yeah.
So outside turns are for respect, and that's what I start with a young horse like this that has a lot of energy and has kind of a personality that naturally leans towards disrespect, right? She's
Yeah.
not as high on respect as she is on trust.
Right. Yeah.
So get that first, and then get your inside turns for the draw and the trust,
Yeah.
and then you can start playing with some follow me. So you did follow me at the clinic, right? You remember? You did?
We were like baby stages, but she was really reactive to
Okay.
turning
Okay.
on the outside
Okay.
with the wind and everything. in
Uh-huh.
there.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
she's doing a lot better today.
Good.
But
Okay.
that we didn't get farther than that, I don't think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that's fine. We'll start there, you and I. And you might recognize it once we do it a little bit. So we're going to teach her more about draw and how to draw.
Okay.
Hello. How are you this morning?
Naturally, she's like more offended if you push her.
Yeah, right. She has a ton of trust, right? But sometimes too much.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like this. I'm going to give you a visual and then you can play with it. We're gonna teach her to follow our hand from zone 1. Remember how we were teaching her to follow our hand from leading position? Right? So our hand is like here in home base, right? And she needs to follow that hand and stay with us, right?
No, you're not holding her.
No. So this is our leading position. Follow my hand
Yeah.
and keep with me. Girl. Okay, and you can do that. It's especially good to start on the rail just so
Okay.
she has less options. I mean, I kind of messed with her there and she's fine with that. So you can start playing with coming off the rail. Now, from zone 1, which is in front of her, we're going to teach her to follow our hand. And this is our hand we're going to ask her to follow.
Okay.
And we're gonna make kind of a sideways triangle-y thing. So my arm on her halter is one side of the triangle, my whip is the other side of the triangle, and she's kind of the bottom. But you see how it's not a true triangle, right? It's kind of, yeah. So I'm backing up. I'm teaching her to stay at the distance of my arm and show me some bend. You see what I'm kind of asking her for shoulder in here?
Yeah.
Okay, so if she gets pushy on me, I'm going to push back and say, no, rate your speed to my speed.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping I'm keeping my arm centered on my body, and I'm keeping her head centered on my hand.
Okay.
Because that's where I want her when I let go. I don't want her head outside my shoulders because she'll walk past.
Okay. So her head stays between your shoulders, but her body.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So I'm kind of like a pivot point almost, where her body moves around my pivot point, but her head doesn't get outside of my shoulders. Because if I let her get wandering around, then she just walks past me, or she turns around, or whatever they do.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll ask her again. So I step so I can see her hip, because that's how I ask first, right? And then I'm going to draw my body back. If I need to add the whip, I will. That's fine. Now the whip is just in A. So we're working on controlling her head, rating her speed, and asking her for bend. Right there, she lost her bend, so I'm going to add a little whip and say, and now I'm going to make a circle off the rail. There's some good bend. Thinking about her shoulders coming with her head. And then I'm going to go back to the rail. Move her over a little. Rate her speed, move her over. And my hand is soft when she's right, and kind of closes and gets strong when she's wrong.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm going to do another circle, get some bend.
Do you need to pull much, or she just?
I'm not pulling. I'm not pulling at all.
Okay.
If I need to do anything, I'm pushing because she gets busy,
Okay.
or she pushes on me and gets too
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna prepare and stop. So I take my eyes off, I put my whip back, and I slow my feet. Okay, so then I would go the other direction. I'm just gonna do a very quick visual of that. Nothing changes. I switch my whip, change her eye, move her hip, add her through. I'm not mad at her if she's a little tentative this way, right? It's probably a little harder. Good. There you go. I know. It's not easy, is it? No. So now she's getting a little with me, so I'm gonna get a little back. Try. You gotta try. Yes. Yeah. No. Try. No. There. You can do it. What a good girl. What a good girl. Good job. So she's looking at you, and I'm not going to do anything while she's doing that, right? And I'll ask her again to try. Just try. Oh, what a good girl you are. What a good girl. So, to the right is not her favorite way, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to work on this a lot, to the right. And get her thinking that this is possible. Not just possible, but actually doable and okay. Nope. Try again. Okay. Yes. Good. So I get a good bend step, and then I let her go forward, right? Can you kind of see that?
Yeah.
There, that was really good try. Okay, so I'm going to stop, trying to keep her eye to the right while I stop. Good Is this making sense?
Yeah, I'm trying to get better at like, watching her eyes
Mm-hmm.
and know. Because it's kind of subtle.
It's very subtle. It's very subtle. But when you have your hand on here, you're gonna feel when her head goes that way and her rib cage pops out this way.
Yeah.
We can't have that.
Okay.
Her rib cage has got to stay that way, and her eyes got to stay this way. Then her hind falls into place. But her natural instinct is to counterbend her body when you're going this way. So there's a lot of work on get your rib cage over, get your eye to the right. Now you're correct. And doing this work now will help you so much when you get in the saddle, because right now in the saddle she's going to be kind of a mess to the right.
Oh, yeah.
So this work now on the ground will help that a lot.
Yeah.
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 Because she only, yeah, you can go see her. Because she definitely in the beginning was like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you can't, just try, right?
Mhm.
It's not like we're stressing her a ton. We just want her to try, but she's got to get that out of her head
Yeah.
that she can't. You can. It's just not healthy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's even physical. I think it's mentally not healthy.
Yeah. That's probably true.
Yeah.
And she's had a lot of hip stuff just from growing so much. So when she had like a big growth spurt and had a lot of body work and she was really tight.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure that probably in her head, she's like, it's still like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We work through it.
Right. Rehabbing is about half convincing them that it's not going to hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start the other direction, the easier way. So you'll be walking backwards this way. Your whip is. So hold your whip. Yeah, good. And walk backwards and stay along the rib. Now, is she in front of your body? Remember what I said about her head? Lift it in your shoulders. And your hand in your shoulder. Good. Yes. Good. Push back when she gets strong and soften your fingers when she's ready. There you go. Good. Try to keep walking backwards. I know it's kind of hard at first. You're doing great. You're doing great. There you go. Okay, now, can you follow where I am and back a circle? Yes, keeping her head focused on you. You're a pivot point. Back towards me a little bit more. I'm over here. Yeah? Good. All right. Now, can you see where her inside hind back towards me again? Could move a little more. There you go. And her shoulders can come toward you a little bit more. There, better. So we're trying to establish bend. So right now she's walking through her shoulder. Her outside shoulder. There. Yes, you're doing the right thing, even though she's protesting. You're fine. Bring her shoulder toward you. Yes. Back towards me. Back towards me. Back, back, back. Yes, yes. Yeah, better. Okay. Now go back to the rail. There, that was very nice. And find a couple good steps and then practice your stop, which will mean your eyes come off of her hip. Yep, whip goes down, low. Yeah, good. And is it kind of making sense? It's a
Yeah.
lot to think about.
Yeah. So I need to work on thinking while backing up.
Yeah. You know what they say though for us, that it prevents Alzheimer's.
I believe that.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to be aware of while you're working on this, and again, this is tough as I'm adding one more thing.
Okay.
But what she wants to do is drift through the shoulder this direction.
Yeah.
So I want you to be super aware that this foot needs to be stepping toward you more,
Okay.
okay? Which will help her get the rib cage over and get her bend correct.
And do I control that with her head?
You control the shoulder with the head.
Okay.
You control the rib cage and the hip with your whip, which would be your leg if you were on. Right?
Okay.
Good. There you go. Oh, that's right. Good job. Look at her hip. Try to look at her hip. I know it's hard.
Oh, okay.
Because you're driving her forward and
Yeah.
moving that rib cage. There you go. That was a better response. Good. Now back the circle. Look at her rib cage and hip. You're sending it away. Yeah, that's better. Good job, girl. Yeah, think about that. Outside, front, and move that rib cage over a little stronger. Good. There, that was a good one right there. Okay, let's quit when you're ready. Okay, so what this becomes later on is when you have your hand out here and you're at liberty, now she will follow you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you can send her. Now you're more in like a leading position, right? This hand's still here, so the side of her head is just off your hand. You're sending. Then you can go back to follow. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to go to the right, and then we'll play a little bit with what that looks like.
At Liberty.
So let's do the right the way you've been doing it
Okay.
to the left.
Okay.
That's a little harder for her. About her hip and rib cage, and go to the, yep, you're right, you're correct. Her eye needs to be to the right with you, and her rib cage and hip need, yes, to be right. That was good. Yeah, there you go. See what she wants to do there? So think about her right eye staying with her right shoulder. Her rib cage needs to move out towards the rib. Right eye. Yep, that's where she crosses there. Very nicely done. Good girl. Good girl. That was good. Yes. Good. Yeah, just like that. Good. Yes. Good. Hey, she's starting to believe this is more possible with every step. Okay, let's take her back over towards the rail when you get a chance. Yes. Good. Get back when you can. There, and just switch her over. Between your shoulders. Yep, there you go. Good. Okay, you get over there by the rail somewhere and you find a good place to stop. Eye to the right. Eye to the right. Choose your own. Good. Yes, good. Oh, she says, that's tough work. Tough work for mom, too, just so you know. All right. Questions about that?
No, that's helpful.
So can you see the benefits of teaching her to bend now?
Oh, yeah. I want to teach her a lot before I get on her. Yeah.
All right. So this next one, we're going to use the rope. You're going to keep my speaker? That's not very helpful. Okay. So what I want you to play with next, I'll give you a visual and you can do it. We'll start to the left since that's easier for her. That's your rope. Can you come here? Okay. Can you come here?
The yellow is taking over.
That's the right eye. We're on the left. call this draw and send. And you can do it on the lunge line. We'll start with this and see what happens. So we're in follow me, right? Get her head centered here. We get her back. Then we move our hand and our body into a lunging position. Okay, and we're starting to think send.
Did you ask me to do that?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we're gonna go into a send. And then we'll see if we can get her to come back. Whoops. Okay. And then we go back to follow. So with the rope, it would be the same thing, and that's how I would start. We're gonna plan with her today. Follow me. Into send. Try to keep her eye. If we can't, we just keep going to the rail and we turn her. We're gonna stay left. Girl. Girl. Good send. Into Oh, it's okay. We're just kind of playing. It doesn't really matter that much. We'll just put the rope on her.